Hello, everyone. Hello, 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 and welcome to this evening where we talk about everything about raising your children to become intelligent and to be smart geniuses. If you're excited to be here, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat as well. Let me know in the chat. Welcome, 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 welcome. Okay, do we have people live with us yet? Give me a second to check. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. And hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, just let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat that you can hear me. Okay? Great, 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 great. Right. Right. And so today we're going to be talking about something quite interesting. Today we're going to be talking about what child teacher sees that you don't. Right? What a child teacher sees that you don't. And the thing is, if you spend a lot of time actually observing your child, you know, just watching, right, and not trying to change anything, if you do that, you're going to notice a couple of things. One mom told me this morning, and she said that, oh, she noticed her daughter was completely calm while eating, but fell apart the moment that she had nothing. I think another dad also let me know that you know his son was fine until his younger sibling, everything just changed. These observations matter. This is data, right? Because it shows exactly like the child is and what kind of helps you to see some level text of where your child currently is. And so the quick question I have for you is, have you ever had a parent teacher meeting before where the teacher said something about your child that surprised you, that you didn't expect to? Something that didn't match the child that you grew? Is it something that you've seen before? Is it something that you've seen before? Let me know. Is it something that you've seen before? Let me know. Let me know. If just type yes if that's happened to you before. You see, a father he went to a parent teacher meeting and he was expecting them to say good things about his son. Of course, obviously, he knew that his son was smart, he did his homework, he seemed fine at home. He was not causing problems, right? He wasn't causing problems. And so, like, it was easy for him to go and think that, oh, there was no problem at all. And so, the teacher said this to him, they call it open day now. And so the teacher said to him, said, oh, your son is bright, he understands the material, but he cannot start any task without being prompted. He waits for me to tell him what to do every single time. I have 30 kids in this class and I cannot handhold each one. So I'm noticing that your son is really dependent on external prompting to initiate his work, right? And so that was what the teacher noticed. The father was so shocked because at home, he still started things on his own, or at least that's what he thought. But when he thought about it more carefully, he realized something. Realized something. He was always giving instructions. He was always giving instructions. Get up, brush your teeth, pack your bag, put on your shoes, eat breakfast, and all of that. And so the child never had to self-start because someone was always telling him what to do next. There was always something else to do. There was always an instruction to follow. And so I think the question that you have to ask yourself is, how many of you give your children step-by-step instructions for everything? You get step-by-step instructions for get brush your teeth, right? Or maybe pack your bag, put on your shoes. What if you have gotten to a point where your child cannot function without those problems? What if you have been so busy giving instructions that you never notice that the child has no idea how to start tasks on their own? Because that's the funny thing. You're giving those instructions, and then you don't even know that it has gotten so bad. And without those instructions, that nothing will get done, right? And so, what I want you to understand today is that there's a massive difference between supported performance and independent performance. So, supported performance is what your child does with you. You are giving instructions, you are guiding, you are reminding. Of course, they can do it, they have support. But independent performance, that's what they do without you. That's the no prompts, no reminders, no guidance. And that's actually where the huge gap is. And that gap is where the real work happens because most parents have no idea how big that gap is because they are always there. They are always providing support. They're always making sure that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. And so you never really know how much deficit. You don't really know how much deficit your child has because you are always there watching over and making sure that everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, right? And so the teacher is seeing your child's real baseline. The teacher sees this gap every single day. And so they are seeing it and they can tell. They can tell that, oh, this child needs someone to watch him, needs someone to hold his hand. And so it becomes like incredibly hard for you to know exactly, okay, what exactly do you have to do? What exactly do you have to do? So what I want you to do right now is I want you to, for a few days, right? Don't give your child any instructions for the first 15 minutes of their routine. Not a word, no brush your teeth, no get dressed, no reminders. I want you to just observe. And I want you to observe what do they do on their own? What do they forget? Right? That gap between what they do with the instructions and what they do without those instructions, right? That's what tells you how much support that your child needs. Because if you stay without trying to run your child's life, give you a clear picture, of where your child currently is. And by so doing, you're able to now say, okay, this is what needs to be done, and this is where my child is. Because if you can't draw a line to know where your baseline, how do you even want to improve that? And so, if what I shared today will hit home, if you're recognizing yourself in this story, the whole point of this is to give you one thing, something that you can run with, that you can go and test today. Not three things, not five things, just one that when you go, it helps you and you're able to see more value for the next day, right? And so if what I shared today with you hit home, if you're recognizing yourself at the free training I'm going on the 7th, where I'm going to share with you guys exactly how you can actually build this structure in your home. I'll walk you through exactly what to do with this guy. When you realize that everything that you have to do, everything that your child, you know, before they do anything, they have to consult you or you have to confirm it, then you don't want to miss the live training I'm going to be having on the 17th. I think maybe by tomorrow or next, we should publish so that you can sign up. Okay? And so I hope that this few minutes has been very helpful for you. And I hope, tell me in the comments if you are going to go ahead and implement that. And so, of course, if you are sick, so do well to actually share it. Right? We do this every single day without you. And so make sure to actually share with everyone who you know need this. So congratulations on listening to the end. And tomorrow we're going to be tackling something that you've definitely tried and it didn't work, right? So I'll see you then. If you have any questions, do well to drop it in the comments. Do well to drop it in the comments, and I'll be here. We'll be here as well to help you get through. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.